right? About the cause and effect theory. So, I'm not going to read everything here. Et nous avons trouvé peut-être, me demande pas, je me mets là quoi, they are not important, but if you want to go through it, right? Well, the basic philosophy of the karma say as a man sow, he will reap the same thing, right? It's all about doing good actions, you will get good results. Bad actions, bad result, right? So man should make good use of his knowledge of this law at the time of undertaking any activity. That is, before that we act, before acting means doing any action, we need to think, use the knowledge that we have about this law, and we think about, what am I doing? Is it good? And is it not good? Should I go forward or not, right? So bearing in mind what can be the consequences, then we act. But it's not about the expectation right now. Before doing the action, don't have the expectation. Just think about, Yash, the action that I'm doing, is it correct or not? Say true. Then you will get your answer based on the knowledge the person has. If the person is ignorant, you know what will it be. And if the wise, the decision will be correct also. So when we think before doing any kind of action, that the action is good or not, and yes, when we have that necessary knowledge, what happens? We are going to hesitate to perform bad actions, right? Well, of course, ça c'est plutôt for the wise people, as Krishna stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the wise who can decide based on their knowledge, on the mind, the functioning of the mind. Those who think about doing an action, before doing the action, think about if it is good or bad, that person will definitely hesitate to do bad actions. But yes, it's true that at times we are tempted, right? At times we are tempted, so the temptation should not be there. And if to get rid of the temptations, what should be done? Definitely meditating, prayers, silent sitting, right? Imbibing virtues and all, right? So the karma theory is all about this, that as we sow, so shall we reap. And before doing any kind of action, we just have to think about what I'm going to do. Is it correct or not, right? Now, we have done bad actions, all of us, no doubt. Fine, it is done. It has already been done. We can't do anything now. We can't reverse it. We can't go back in time, nothing. But what we can do is we can learn lessons from the bad actions that we have done, right? Now, how will we be able to learn lessons? Is it will all based on the gyan, on the knowledge that we have, right? And when we learn the good lessons from our past, we resolve not to indulge in any such bad actions in future. Because we know that if I'm going to do bad action, the result will be bad. Okay. But nous tous nous connaissons of it right now. Let's be sincere. We all know about it, that we did something wrong, we need to learn from the action, and we should resolve not to do that action again, but yet we do it again. It's all about being tempted to do the act. Tempted by, it can be materialistic things, it can be pleasures, or tempted by our anger, tempted by our bad qualities, about tempted by our vices. That is also possible. So I told, initially I told you, I'm not going to read everything, okay? Just the important, you can go through it later on. More at times, under certain circumstances, we are constrained to disregard the law of karma, and we are forced to do evil actions, which is against our will. Okay, at times it will happen, you don't want to lie, for example, but you will have to lie. Okay, we do bind karmas, and as a result of it, we have to experience their bitter fruits at the time of fruition. But the duration of such karmas is short, and the bitterness of their fruits is less intense. That is, if I had to lie and I lied, okay, no, I did not want to lie, but I lied, okay. Maybe because of the circumstances, the person to whom we had to tell the lie, the person was uncontrollable or something, whatever be the reason, okay. As per the situation, we were forced to lie, okay. So it was only for a short duration, and the result that we will get of this lie, which we did not want to do or to say, the duration of this friction of getting the result will be very much less intense. But for sure, we are going to pay for it. Okay? We can't escape it. So whatever we do, we have to pay for it. So it is wise to experience the fruits of karmas with equanimity. Here you can refer to your Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna talked about equanimity, right? Let's try to face the problems, the situations with equanimity, trying not to be affected by the pair of opposites, okay? Oh, it doesn't happen just like that. It's all about practice. He should experience the pleasant fruits of karmas without attachment. Again, Bhagavad Gita, Nishkam Karma. We do the action, yes, we do think if the action is good or not, and then we do the action, we perform it, but do not expect result with it. Do not get attached to the action. Getting attached to the action with in a certain expectation of it, from it. So that should not be done, right? As per the Jain philosophy. Obviously, all philosophies will talk about the same thing. Only those persons whose minds are not disturbed or agitated, even in the presence of causes of mental disturbances, are really wise and steady, right? That is, if we have perfect control on ourselves, on the senses, there can be any kind of disturbance or temptations in front of us, nothing will happen. We will not change our mind, we will not be agitated, we will not be disturbed. Such person, they are wise and they are steady person. Okay, so as per, essayez comprendre the way here, as per the Jain philosophy, to be able to reach the Kaivalya, to be able to reach the moksha, we have to be wise, to be steady, and all will start with Gyan, with knowledge, right? Of course, karma will come in it, no doubt. The objects of sense pleasures are present before a man, even if he remains firm, steady, and calm on the strength of his internal spiritual power and does not move from his seat. Will those objects move towards him and embrace him? Let's say you have something very nice in front of you, okay, and you are not mm, getting tempted. Will that thing which is very nice, very pleasant, will it come to you? Of course not. You will go to it. Ça veut dire tout est dans nous là. We need to have that strong will. Everything is in our hands. Shall I be tempted or not? Shall I refrain from following, of being slaves of my senses or not? And if I don't have the strong will, I don't have that willpower, bien sûr, we will take the prayer path from the Katha Upanishad, what you learn, the Shreya and the prayer. We're going to lose our patience, our confidence, and we will degenerate, right? Each and every member of the society should be free to strive for the attainment of material, mental, and spiritual good. Again, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita has said we are free to do whatever we want, no doubt. Now, you want to attain material things or mental good or spiritual good, we are all free to do that. We can strive for it. Strive for it meaning working hard for it, right? It will definitely bear the fruit also. But at the same time, we should accept the restrictions imposed by the rules of social ethics and justice as per the theory of karma or dharma. Let's say I want to get money, I want to get lots of material things. What should I do? Should I work hard or should I sell drugs, right? So we should know there are certain ethics, there are certain codes of conduct to follow. And even if I want to be materially very rich mentally or spiritually, I need to do it in the right way, right? By following the rules of the social justice and the ethics as well. Okay. The observance of those social customs and conventions that are in consonance with and conducive to justice morality is necessary for the stability and order of the society. No doubt, if let's say all of us today we will become drug dealers, how will the society be? Will there be stability? Will there be order in the society? No. So it all depends on us, actually, on our karma. Now, the karma will depend on our knowledge, right? But knowledge meaning including values to sa bien sûr lipulada, right? Now, if somebody attacks you and you counter his attack, nobody will say that you entertain enmity towards him. If you have lent your money and he is not returning it and you file a suit against him for getting your money back, then nobody will accuse you of revengefulness. Why? Because it will be your right. If somebody forcibly takes away your things and you try to protect and retain them, nobody will accuse you of returning evil, like in the Mahabharata, the Pandavas, they fought for their right. There's nothing wrong if one properly opposes, confronts, or counteracts a rogue, a thief, a cheat, a liar, or a rascal. So if I'm opposing any of these, we are not wrong because c'est no right. According to the rule of religious law, it is rightful and fair to ask for our right, just Example is the Mahabharata, right? The Pandavas went to ask for their kingdom. Malgré c'était matériel, yes, but it was theirs. C'était the right on that. So they asked for it, and it is not against the law, right? But the way of asking, là, peut-être will be important, right? Well, there are certain examples here. You can go through it. Now, destiny is incomprehensible. I don't know if you can understand your destiny. As for me, no, I can't understand. Karma is as such that we cannot understand it. Right now, we are paying, we are not necessarily paying in a negative sense, but we are getting the results of our past actions in our past births, and which we are not even aware actually, right? All of us, we have been through many births and we are paying for that. But nous pas rappel, we don't know which birth, what we did. So destiny or life becomes highly incomprehensible. That is, we can't understand it well, right? Very abstract. Man is therefore free just to make efforts. What we can do, definitely say efforts, right? We can't change the past. We can't do that. Ce qui ne fait pas des trois naissances avant, you can't change it. It is bound to come back, right? But yes, as we have learned in the law of karma, we can make the future nice. We can make the future good by doing the right effort, right? If the good fortune is in store for man, it is manifested or brought about through efforts only. C'est vrai. If I deserve, okay, I deserve to get the fortune. Should I sit at home? Will I get the fortune? Never. The effort should be there. Even Buddha in mettant en face the right effort. Human effort accompanied with pure light of right knowledge. Ça veut dire right knowledge avec nos efforts, avec nos karma, destroys man's present miserable state. It's not that we are not going to pay for the past actions that we have done, but we will surely get it, the results of the past. But the present or the near future, we can rectify everything by doing the good things, right? So if it is not possible for him to remove or allay suffering already befallen on him, and hence he has no alternative but to experience it, then instead of experience it with cowardliness and as a result binding new inauspicious karma, he should experience it with praiseworthy equanimity and peace. At times, we can't change the present. At times, it can be changed. If my present I'm suffering, I do certain actions, it will be okay. But not for everyone. Okay, not for everyone. The present cannot be changed for everyone, positively, bien sûr. So we are left with only one thing to do, say to experience it. However painful it might be, we have to experience it. But how do we experience it? It's not by, each time complaining, we are targeting our past or targeting people around us. Parfois, quand nous souffrons, nous dire à cause tel du monde, à cause ça, à cause l'autre, that we are suffering. We should avoid that. Parce que quand nous pouvons faire ça, we are again doing a new bad karma. Let's say if I'm suffering right now, me donne ça tola and le demon because of you, I'm suffering and all. It might be wrong. So what am I doing? I'm judging, and judgment should never be done, should never be given in that way. quand nous pas connaît qui fait nous peut souffrir. Right? So we should experience it with coward by not being coward, right? And as a result, binding new inauspicious karma, we avoid it, right? While suffering. We must realize that sufferings and calamities do not befall us on their own accord. Those are sown and sprout up. So, c'est un fait qui nous a réalisé, si nous pouvons souffrir aujourd'hui, it's not just like that. C'est nous qui nous ça at the end, right? They don't just befall us just like that. Comment dire, bon Dieu, bien, c'est qu'il pas jamais envie d'un tel du monde problem. It's not that. Okay, we asked for it, right? When a man is afflicted with disease, incurs losses, suffers any calamity, he blames karma. Nous tous nous faisons ça, right? Now, if the situation or condition is the direct result of his past karma, then it will be proper to do so. Si nous pouvons souffrir à cause de nos past karma, it's true. We are suffering because of our past karma. Okay. But do we know we are suffering because of our past karma? Ça, nous pas connu. C'est pour ça, au commencement, l'entité destiny est incomprehensible. No one will ever know that. Moi, si peut-être nous avons Gyani, Mahatma, nous faisons méditation, nous connaissons qui peut dérouler, ça c'est another thing, right? But sinon, no one knows. But even in that case, he should make proper efforts to remove such calamity or misery. Il paraît comme il y a certains démons que whatever happened, good or bad, oh, it was bound to happen, c'est n'a pas arrivé. Okay, it's not always the case. Okay, it is, of course, but the right effort should be there to stop it from deteriorating, ne pas aggraver, right? And if in spite of his efforts it is not removed, then without indulging in evil broodings, he should experience it with courage. At times, let's say we have a disease and we are trying all our best to get it removed or cured, and at times it doesn't happen. So we need to have courage to experience it, right? So having courage then becomes our duty. It is therefore not wise to remain idle or inactive, again referring to the Bhagavad Gita, and blame only one past karma for our miseries and calamities. It's never like that. Ça, un petit peu important, right? To lose health and become weak by living careless and irregular life. These are examples. By taking unwholesome and harmful food, nous mange n'importe quoi, by subjecting the body to prolonged hunger, et n'a dit, nous avons carrément à ce point-là qui est les corps bien affecté, or by not supplying the required nutritive elements to the body through food. Our body needs certain carbohydrates, certain proteins, vitamins a day. And if we are not doing that, we are not giving the nutrients to the body. To invite poverty by losing money in gambling, etc. To become a debtor by expending more than our income. Il y a des gens qui font surtout ceux qui font gamble, ceux qui fument, boivent. By indulging in worldly pleasures, by submitting to harmful customs, et à des fois nous suivons des affaires qui ne pas comprendre nous-mêmes, qui fait nous peut faire, etc. To fail in examination by neglecting studies and by indulging in sense pleasure, to put the life of a sick man in danger by not taking him to the expert doctor for treatment. Si un monde malade, nous pas l'amener écouter un docteur qui bizarre, ou bien nous pas l'amener écouter docteur même, right? Instead of taking recourse to superstitions of evil things, possession of men, women by them in a moon like this, if ever they are suffering, oh, and or something. And to put the blame for all this on the past karma is nothing but bankruptcy of human reason. These are examples of things that if we are doing, c'est actually bankruptcy of human reason. Nous peut perdre nos reasoning. OK? Donc là, si nous perdons nous tout, enfin, I'm not saying, pas nécessairement je là-dedans, but majority of us, I think including me also, we are losing our reasoning. C'est pour ça qu'il nous peut toujours faire bad karmas, right? So, quand on say human reasoning, it will definitely lead connected to gyan, to knowledge, right? Comment nous développer logic and reasoning, c'est through knowledge, right? One should blame one's foolish and thoughtless behavior instead of blaming any other thing, right? When some helpless people is suffering from misery or unjustly tortured, we should not blame his past karma. You know, at times, and je m'en fais souffrir, nous dit comme ça, de bien faire passer dans ton naissance passée, that's why you are paying for it. We should never say that, right? Parce que we never know why the person is suffering, and we never understand the suffering of others, tant que pas passe pour nous, bien sûr, right? So we should never say that to someone, tu me fais trop beaucoup péché, that's why you are suffering, right? It will be like you are judging the person, right? So instead of that, we should rush to help the person. It becomes our prime duty to help the person in any way possible. If you can take the person to the hospital, but if you can pay for the medicines, whatever thing, giving food, n'importe quoi, okay? At least we are helping the person. It becomes our prime duty. Donc, pas oublier là, we are doing all this, all to say that these are the ways to moksha, right? It is a sin to leave the miserable person to his destiny and not to attempt to relieve him of misery. If someone next to you is suffering and you don't help that person, help can be in any form, can be in advice, can be in terms of food, money, n'importe quoi, right? If we don't do it, then we are incurring sin. At times, you know, you don't need to do anything. You just talk to the person, listen to the problem of the person. That will be enough to help the person, right? If someone is suffering, go for help. Help the person. Karma advises us to make sincere efforts to dissipate and destroy the influence of karma and not in the least to sit idle blaming our karma. From the moment of man's descent in embryo, in the form of embryo, to the end of his life, this Kalimo, he depends on others. You like it or not, it's true. We always depend on others. Right now, you're dependent on your parents. Tomorrow you will get married, you will be dependent on your spouse. You will be dependent on nature. We will always be dependent on something. So he seeks and receives cooperation and help from others. Thus, the entire humanity is like one family. So it is our duty then, if someone else is suffering, we need to help. Et il n'est pas nécessairement bizarre que I know the person, then I'll help the person. If you are walking on the road, someone is thirsty, someone is not feeling well, help the person in any possible way. Bon, si du monde n'a pas les nous help ça l'autre affaire. but at least you made the right effort, right? It is a crime in the regime of spirituality to be selfish. It is a crime to be selfish in spirituality. To remain always clung to one's possession with strong attachment. That is, you possess few things and you have a strong attachment to it. I won't share this to the other person. I won't give this to the other person parce que c'est pour moi. So it is again a crime if we do it, if we are on the path of spirituality. To neglect others' interest, thinking constantly about oneself, and to be hard-hearted. Là, mon sentiment visé avec ce mot-là. To be hard-hearted, right? So, if we want that, if we are a Jain, we want to be to get moksha, tout ça là, ça effacé, should be eliminated, right? And si je peux remarquer, everything is just like, you know, the Bhagavad Gita right now. Tout ce qui nous peut dire exists is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Doctrine of rebirth, bon, karma and rebirth, les marchent ensemble, right? It is the doctrine that inspires man to make effort and to undertake good work leading to progress. Si Andy Mooney believe dans sa concept of rebirth là, okay, he believe à 100% là, in the karma and rebirth, li pour tout le temps fait good actions, right? Parce que we won't like to take birth again to suffer, right? So the person will try to be good, will try to do good thing, so that in the next birth, it will be a nice birth for the person. He won't suffer that much. So it is very useful doctrine conducive to progress. The doctrine we should believe in, right? And which will help us, that belief will help us to progress. If the future birth is not good, then it is in the hands of man to make efforts to improve. So the doctrine of karma is not in any sense the doctrine of fatalism. We have many Hindus also who say that who knows how rebirth will be, who knows rebirth exists or not. But si nous get what the religion tells us, and logiquement, si nous fait une action, nous pouvons get the result of it, but when will we get it? Si pena rebirth, right? So we'll have to take birth again as per the law of continuity, the law of cause and effect. So the doctrine of rebirth is a doctrine which is conducive to progress. It helps us to progress. It helps us to be good because we don't want to suffer. The karma philosophy goes to the extent of declaring that even the unalterable karma can be altered and even destroyed, but it can be done only by highly pure and intense spiritual discipline. You know, là, faut arrive comme si a very high level. And karma could ne supposer pas capable chance l'effet actually. We can do it, but we will really need to be highly spiritual for that. Okay. What is meant is that we should not become inactive and lazy depending on karma. It is neither proper nor good for us to remain inactive, right? So we should keep the mind cool, we should be patient. At times we lose our patience, but we should not. People say that by undertaking activities like donation, worship, service, man earns merit or binds auspicious karma by destroying others or by doing something to them against their will, he accumulates demerit. It is said if we do good actions, like mentioned here, donation and all, we are going to earn merits. It's true, we are going to earn merits. Mais pas oublier là-haut comment l'indienne que even if we are doing it, do it without that attachment from the action, right? That is nishkam karma. When somebody performs activities of donation, service, worship, in order to cheat the simple people or in order to achieve some trifling selfish end, he binds inauspicious karma instead of auspicious, right? Let's say I'm doing something supposément good, like a donation. Donation is supposed a good thing, but I'm cheating people from that. Donc, je peux faire donation, which is a good thing, but I'm cheating people, which is a bad thing. Donc, ça good thing, good act là, il pas pour compte non là. It will be inauspicious action, right? Can you join? It will disconnect.